Has MAGA been duped? Is Make America Healthy Again agenda nothing more than MK Ultra mind control 2.0? Y'all's mind is about to be blown. As I sit here and take in all of the news from every direction, all I see is deceivers, liars, corporate media, cover-ups, agenda, all pushing the same propaganda. It's time for a game changer, a visionary, an innovative person who changes the way that people think of the situations. It's time for Game Changer TV, telling it like it is. Get in the game. Are y'all ready for mind control? Thanks for tuning in to Game Changer TV. I'm your host, Terry Lynn, and this is the channel where every day we're telling it like it is. Today is July 21st, 2025. Have the MAGA crowd and Americans been duped by Trump's executive order to make America healthy again? Is this government-sponsored brainwashing that is about to overtake us? Wait till we get into this. I hope most of y'all have read the book in junior high school, Brave New World, by the transhumanist Aldous Huxley, because it's going to tie into Make America Healthy Again. Y'all's mind is about to be blown. So on February 13, 2025, Trump established the Make America Healthy Again Commission, headed up by beloved JFK president's brother, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who presents himself as being anti-vaccine, pro-American. So people breathed a sigh of relief. But was it a false peace? Wait till y'all see this. I typed in RFK Jr. wants to end pharmaceuticals. Reports from news sources indicate that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the current Secretary of Health and Human Services, does not seek to end the pharmaceutical industry, but instead aims to reform and regulate it more stringently. Drug industry treads carefully after stunning Robert F. Kennedy Jr. nomination. Now remember, we all thought we were getting a break from Yuval Noah Harari and the World Economic Forum, those demoniacs. We thought that this was going to be a good thing. And Robert F. Kennedy says that he's not going to end or reform, but he's not going to seek to end the pharmaceutical industry, but wants to reform and regulate it. So we kind of breathed a sigh of relief because we didn't think that Trump and RFK was like the World Economic Forum and Yuval Noah Harari. Well, let's go see this little short clip by Yuval Noah Harari talking about keeping the population entertained by drugs and video games.
And then the big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games. Keep them happy with drugs and computer games.
And what are drug companies wanting to do? Drug companies join medical psychedelic movement. Uh-oh, where's this about to go? The same pharmaceuticals that gave us COVID vaccines. Yuval Noah Harari wants to control people with drugs. Pharmaceutical companies want to get in for psychedelic drugs. Did the MKULTRA project use, I didn't put it in there, LSD to brainwash? Yes, Project MKUltra, the CIA's covert, the government's covert mind control program did experiment with LSD in an attempt to explore its potential use in mind control and what they termed brainwashing. Did Project MKUltra try to use mind control with LSD? Yes, Project MKUltra, the CIA's top secret mind control program that ran from 1953 to about 1973. If you think it's ended, you've lost your mind. Extensively explored the use of LSD as a tool for mind control. The government used LSD for mind control. Now, the pharmaceuticals are saying they want to use psychedelic drugs to treat illnesses. And the government was experimenting with LSD for population mind control with the use of LSD, which LSD is a psychedelic. Was the purpose of MK Ultra mind control? The Central Intelligence Agency Project MK Ultra was a top secret illegal program that began in 1953 and ran through at least the late 1960s. The other one said 1973. The primary goal was to explore the potential for using drugs, chemicals, hypnosis, and other methods to manipulate human behavior and control the mind.
This CIA experiment was real and terrifying. It's called MK. In the 1950s, the CIA launched a top secret program, MK. Its goal, mind control, using drugs like LSD on unsuspecting people, including prisoners, mental patients, and even regular citizens. Some were drugged without consent, while others were subjected to sleep deprivation hypnosis and psychological torture. It was all done under the guise of national security. Even worse, the victims didn't know until it was too late. When MKUltra was exposed in the 1970s, the public was shocked, but much of the evidence destroyed by the CIA itself. This isn't science fiction, it's US history, and it's still raising questions today. MKUltra was real and buried deep. Follow true tales.
CIA's most disturbing experiment.
They took people against their will and they would give them massive doses of LSD and tape their eyes open and play these videos in front of their face all the time. Thought it was going to like reprogram their brain somehow. What happened was a lot of the people had lost 30, 40 years of memories from their life. And these were people who checked into a clinic for like anxiety.
What's the CIA's most
People that checked into a mental health clinic for anxiety were unknowingly subjected to this CIA mind control. LSD is a hallucinogenic drug known as psychedelics as a group of substances that can temporarily alter a person's perception of reality as well as their thoughts and feelings. Would you want the government administering LSD secretly to us now? Under the guise of health? In the dystopian book, Brave New World, does the government keep people on numbing drugs? Yes, in Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, the world state government actively distributes and encourages the use of a drug called Soma to keep its citizens docile and content. Drugs and video games keep them docile and content. It suppressed negative emotions, encouraged complacency, discouraged individuality, and maintained social order. Soma acts as a narcotic tranquilizer, providing euphoric feelings and eliminating any feelings of unhappiness, anger, or sadness that might arise. This prevents individuals from questioning the societal structure or becoming rebellious. Y'all write this down. The government views unhappiness as a threat to social stability, so they promote Soma, this psychedelic drug, as a way to ensure the population remains happy and complacent with the status quo. By numbing the individual's emotions and dulling their capacity for critical thinking, Soma hinders the development of individuality and independent thinking. Soma is even used by the police to quell riots, demonstrating its effectiveness in maintaining social order and preventing any form of dissent or unrest. In essence, this psychedelic drug, replace it with LSD, is key tool to the world state's sophisticated system of social control, ensuring that citizens remain in the state of superficial happiness and are unaware of the limitations placed on their freedoms and individuality. In Aldous Huxley's novel Brave New World, the characters in the world state society, the New World Order, are heavily reliant on a drug called Soma. Here, some of the main characters interact with Soma. Lena Crown uses Soma regularly, as is standard in her society, to maintain her complacent and happy state. Bernard Marx initially shows disdain for the LSD or the Soma and uses it sparingly, reflecting his attempts to be an individual, but he does use it sometimes. Linda becomes heavily addicted to Soma, using it frequently to escape the realities of her life on the reservation and eventually overdoses. John the Savage rejects Soma and sees it as a symbol of the New World Order world state's artificial happiness and suppression of genuine human emotion. In essence, most of the characters within the world state stay on Soma as it is ingrained part of their society and a means of control, while those who resist the world state's ideas tend to reject it. If Soma got offered to American citizens, who would take it from the government? This is from CIA.gov, the reading room documents. Public Affairs, MKUltra mind control experiments. Okay. Bradley was suffering from depression. It was recommended that she see Dr. Cameron, who was one of the leading psychiatrists in Canada. Y'all, and MKUltra came from the Nazis under Operation Paperclip. So it's from World War II, from the Nazis. Her treatment was from Dr. Cameron. Massive doses of lysergic acid dithermide, a new experimental mind-altering drug called LSD. It destroyed her mental health. They were also injected with drugs, LSD, which led to terrifying hallucinations. Being diagnosed as a psychomatic or caused by emotional problems, he got the full battery of treatment: sleep therapy, electroshock, many times the norm, psychic driving, and LSD. All that left permanent mental scars. Bradley, when Robert Lodge finally had an opportunity to examine his medical records, he learned that after the electroshocks, LSD, and psychic driving, doctors decided his leg pain was not psychosomatic at all. Okay? A few shots of cortisone ended the pain in his leg. Okay, so they gave him. So y'all see that the government in hospitals and at universities did covert experiments with LSD on people that led to basically brain rot. Okay? Sponsored by the government, courtesy of the USA, that people pledge allegiance to. And there was something called Operation Climax, where they used prostitutes to lure men in, and the government watched the men that they brought into these hotels through two-way mirrors, and the women supplied the men with LSD. You can go on YouTube, watch the government experiments with LSD on unknowing housewives. Operation Climax LSD refers to Operation Midnight Climax, a sub-project of the CIA's MKUltra mind control research program. This operation, established in 1954, involved the study of LSD effects on unsuspecting individuals. The CIA set up safe houses in San Francisco and New York where prostitutes paid by the agency would lure their clients. The men would then be given LSD, often without their knowledge, and their behavior would be monitored through two-way mirrors. The stated goal of Operation Midnight Climax was to explore the potential of LSD for mind control. particularly its use in extracting information from individuals and even potentially influencing them to commit actions like assassinations. The CIA's appalling human experiments with mind control from the History Channel. Now, this is going to talk about the U.S. partnering with pharmaceutical companies. Now, remember, RFK Jr. said he doesn't want to break relationship with them. He wants to reform it. Now, listen to this about MKUltra.
2 American spies have just arrived at Sandoz Laboratories, one of the world's leading pharmaceutical factories. The mission: corner the market on the world's supply of a powerful new psychoactive drug.
The CIA was scared stiff the KGB was going to get all this LSD and come over and start dosing people. So we bought every drop of LSD in existence at that point.
The CIA has just authorized the purchase of 10 kilograms of pure LSD-25, enough to dose more than half the population of the United States.
They gave it to George White and let George start dosing people.
George Hunter White, a larger-than-life undercover federal narcotics agent. Unbeknownst to his supervisors, White also works for the CIA. His job: to conduct experiments for an operation called Midnight Climax.
George had a CIA safe house stocked with booze. George would sit behind this one-way mirror, drinking martinis, sitting on a portable toilet. If he had to take a leak, he didn't want to get up and leave.
White pays prostitutes to lure their clients to the agency's safe house.
Hookers who would bring these suckers back to the apartment and dose them with pure LSD-25.
This is where I have my effect, in the mind.
This is lysergic acid diethylamide, better known as acid. The powerful drug was first synthesized in 1938 in Switzerland. With a dose of mere micrograms, the mind becomes confused. Perception is distorted. Personal identity is called into question. The results can be euphoric bliss or deadly panic.
February 2022, Seattle and Detroit moved towards decriminalizing psychedelics. Psychedelic churches in the United States pushing boundaries of religion. February 2023. Psychedelic drugs in the church. March 2023. Prince Harry says psychedelics are a fundamental part of his life. So this was during COVID. Prince Harry is selling it. He's marketing it. I would say it's one of the fundamental parts of my life that changed me and helped me deal with the traumas and the pains of the past. From 1987, a soldier was going to sue about the MKUltra LSD experiments. Soldier cannot sue the government for LSD experiments. U.S. versus Stanley, 479 U.S. 1005, 1986. Supreme Court of the U.S. He cannot fire them. Sue them. Oh, look, it's Justice Scalia who had a suspicious death. In 1958, James Stanley, a master sergeant in the Army stationed at Fort Knox, Kentucky, volunteered to participate in a program ostensibly designed to test the effectiveness of protective clothing and experiment as defense against chemical weapon warfare. He was released from then current duties and went to the Army's chemical warfare laboratories in Aberdeen Proving Grounds in Maryland. 4 times that month, Stanley was secretly administered doses of LSD pursuant to an Army plan to study the effects of the drug on human subjects. He suffered hallucinations and periods of incoherence and memory loss, and was impaired in his military performance, and would on occasion awake from the sleep at night without reason, violently beat his wife and children, later being unable to recall the entire incident. He was discharged from the Army in 1969. 1 year later, his marriage dissolved. because of his personality changes wrought by LSD. On December 10, 1975, the Army sent Stanley a letter soliciting his cooperation in a study of the long-term effects of LSD on volunteers who participated in the 1958 test. This was the government's first notification to Stanley that he had been given LSD during his time in Maryland. That caused him to lose everything. But do y'all think Trump and RFK Jr. would do this to the population? June 29th, 2025. RFK Jr. is bringing psychedelics to the Republican Party. Republicans now support counterculture drug research, while Democrats have become cautious about unproven medical treatments. July 16th, 2025. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and other Trump officials embrace psychedelics. The covert CIA mind control experimentations to control people and mind control people and make them assassins and take them out of their feelings, out of reality. They're wanting to bring that to the American people. For decades, proponents of psychedelic drugs have come to Washington with a proactive message. Illegal mind-altering substances like LSD and ecstasy should be approved for Americans grappling with depression and trauma and other hard-to-treat conditions. A presidential administration finally seems to agree. And he wants it, RFK wants it, in 12 months. This line of therapeutics has tremendous advantage if given in a clinical setting. Oh, like what they did with MKULTRA. And we are working very hard to make sure that happens within 12 months. People that lost their mind, people who never got their mind back. He suggested the timeline for greenlighting psychedelic therapy surprised even the most bullish supporters of the drug, and it comes as psychedelics are making inroads in deep red states like Texas, where former Trump cabinet secretary and ex-governor Rick Perry has thrown his full support behind the effort. The administration's embrace of psychedelics has sparked both excitement as well as concern from those in the field who worry the drugs might be discredited if they appear to be rushed onto the market. JFK Jr. will cut prescription drugs and increase weed and psychedelic access. Can y'all believe this? Can y'all believe this? Can y'all believe this? Now here's Elon Musk talking Soma from the book Brave New World.
Soma from Brave New World is a fictional drug that's used to explore some deep philosophical questions about the nature of happiness and the role of drugs in society.
It's a mood-altering, hallucinogenic drug that's used to keep the population docile and content. In the novel, to use Soma in Brave New World raises some interesting questions about the nature of happiness and the role of drugs in society.
Is it better to live in a world where everyone is happy all the time, even if that happiness is artificial? It's a powerful symbol of the dangers of using drugs to escape from reality and the importance of confronting the challenges of life head-on. Conclusion: Soma from Brave New World is a fictional drug that's used to explore some deep philosophical questions about the nature of happiness and the role of drugs in society.
It's a mood-altering, hallucinogenic drug that's used to keep the population docile and content. In the novel, to use Soma in Brave New World raises some interesting questions about the nature of happiness and the role of drugs in society.
Is it better to live in a world where everyone is happy all the time, even if that happiness is artificial?
Now here's Yuval Noah Harari talking about drugs and computer games.
Again, I think that the biggest question maybe in economics and politics of the coming decades will be what to do with all these useless people. I don't think we have an economic model for that. My best guess, which is just a guess, is that food will not be a problem. With that kind of technology, you will be able to produce food to feed everybody. The problem is more boredom. and what to do with them, and how will they find some sense of meaning in life when they are basically meaningless, worthless. My best guess at present is a combination of drugs and computer games.
2 months ago, the gaslighting and the propaganda started. RFK Jr. reveals he first took LSD when he was 15 years old to see dinosaurs. That says, but look at this part. Department of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said Thursday he took LSD when he was 15 years old because he thought he might be able to see dinosaurs. Kennedy recounted the story for the first time he took LSD, a choice which sent him down a path to heroin addiction. So, is that what they're wanting to create? Addicts? Overdoses? Easy to control people? From NIH, the people that brought us the COVID vaccine, September 23rd, 2014, 11 years ago, LSD enhances suggestibility in healthy volunteers. Says LSD has a history of use as a psychotherapeutic aid in the treatment of mood disorders and addiction, and is also explored as an enhancer of mind control. Brave New World, people on drugs were easier to control. In Aldous Huxley's dystopian novel Brave New World, the world state, the New World Order, utilizes a powerful drug called Soma, insert LSD, to control its population. Soma acts as a tool of social control by promoting widespread happiness and complacency, thereby reducing social unrest and making the citizens easier to manage. Didn't they keep telling us that depression increased during COVID? Yes, the prevalence of depression and anxiety globally significantly increased after the start of COVID pandemic, with a rise of 25% in the first year alone. COVID's toll on mental health. Mental health struggles on the rise since COVID. This says depression rates in the U.S. tripled. Young people's mental health deteriorated at a greater rate during COVID. How having COVID might increase your risk of depression. And Harvard came out and said, it's time to normalize mental health checkups. They're going to put everybody on LSD to treat your depression against your will.
CIA's most disturbing experiment. They took people against their will and they would give them massive doses of LSD and tape their eyes open and play these videos in front of their face all the time. Thought it was going to like reprogram their brain somehow. What happened was a lot of the people had lost 30, 40 years of memories from their life. And these were people who checked into a clinic for like anxiety.
And now they are openly talking about feeding people LSD for depression and anxiety. And Harvard says it's time to normalize mental health checkups. I put RFK Jr. to treat depression with LSD. Reports suggest that Robert F. Kennedy, as health secretary, is actively championing the use of psychedelics, including LSD, for therapeutic purposes, particularly for treating conditions like depression and PTSD. He expressed a desire to see these therapies available to patients within a year. Y'all think about the implications of this. Trump's Make America Healthy Again agenda was supposed to put everybody at ease that he was going to come and take away vaccines and he was going to put common sense back in medicine. And now he's talking about putting people on LSD that the government used for secret mind control that rotted out their brains.
What's the CIA's most disturbing experiment? They took people against their will and they would give them massive doses of LSD and tape their eyes open and play these videos in front of their face all the time. Thought it was going to like reprogram their brain somehow. What happened was a lot of the people had lost 30, 40 years of memories from their life. And these were people who checked into a clinic for like anxiety.
So when you check in to your doctor's office and say, I got PTSD or anxiety, they're going to put you on LSD And what kind of subliminal messaging and mind control they're going to give you. Could Make America Health Again make mental health screenings a requirement? Could they force you to go in there to be diagnosed with depression so that they force you to take LSD? The Make America Great Again Commission, established by President Trump in February 2025, aims to address America's health challenges, including rising rates of mental health disorders, obesity, diabetes, and other chronic diseases. While Make America Great Again Commission emphasizes addressing mental health as a critical challenge, particularly concerning children and potential effects of medication, it's unclear whether they could make mental health screening a universal requirement. And could Trump give an executive order for mental health screenings? He's doing everything else by executive order. In essence, while the Make America Healthy Again Commission could strongly advocate for and promote mental health screenings through policy recommendations and initiatives, the ability to enforce them as a universal requirement depends on various legal, ethical, and practical considerations that are subject to ongoing debate and evolving policy landscape. A president can influence mental health policy through various avenues. Executive order. A president can issue executive orders to prioritize mental health initiatives within the federal government and encourage states to adopt similar measures. In 2020, then President Trump signed an executive order to address the mental health needs exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, focusing on areas like suicide prevention, increased access to treatment, including telehealth, and supporting vulnerable populations. He could force it. He could force it for the safety of our nation. He could force it to go after teens that might have mental illnesses and to look for people that could be assassins, like what happened to him, to stop school shootings. He could force it and put people on LSD. This says, was Soma in the Brave New World mind control? In Aldous Huxley's The Brave New World, Soma serves as a powerful tool of social control by the New World Order, the world state, effectively functioning as a form of mind control through manipulation of emotions and experiments. Suppression of unhappiness and negative emotions. Soma is a recreational drug used to eliminate feelings of unhappiness, stress, anger, and other negative emotions. The world state encourages its citizens to consume Soma to maintain social stability and prevent individuals from questioning the established order. By dulling their emotions and providing constant pleasure, Soma prevents citizens from developing critical thinking skills or engaging in rebellious thoughts against the world state. The drug acts as a barrier, an impenetrable wall between real universe and their minds, making them oblivious to the government's control. Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. The world government actively distributes and encourages the use of a drug called Soma to keep its citizens docile and content. In essence, Soma is the tool key in the world state's sophisticated system of social control, ensuring that citizens remain in the state of superficial happiness and are unaware of the limitations placed upon their freedom and individuality. So this is going to be phase 2. The COVID vaccine was part 1. Now they're going to unleash LSD on people so that you don't question what comes after that. What, to make it easy for people to take an implantable RFID chip and not resist it? We are in perilous times. Don't put your confidence in Trump. Don't put your confidence in Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Don't put your confidence in a system that is on a fast track to hell, going down to a slip and slide into hell with gas-lit underwear. They are on a fast slope into hell right now and are looking to take as many people with them to keep you oblivious to what is about to happen. Do not worship a man. Do not put your confidence in a man. Put your hope in the word of God. That is the only thing that will allow you to see clearly what their planning is. I love y'all. Get in the word like never before. Playtime is over. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate the content on the channel, would you please consider a love offering?